Cult of the Lamb is a game that is fundamentally about choices. You'll begin by choosing between doctrines to implement in your cult, tarot cards to upgrade yourself during crusades, followers to sacrifice for the betterment of the cult, and, most importantly, which stylish fleeces you'll be wearing on your crusade. Hey goblins and goblets, it's Snell. Today I'm going to tier list the unlockable fleeces in Cult of the Lamb. The main criteria for this tier list are just based on the overall power / performance of the fleece during a standard crusade. I think judging a fleece for niche use, like a purgatory boss rush run, would not be as accurate as judging it for general use during your playthrough of Cult of the Lamb. So I'm trying to keep this as average as possible. So sit back, relax, and grab a magnificent mixed meal while I rate the fleeces of Cult of the Lamb. Quick spoiler warning, this does cover content related to beating the final boss of the base game and the post game. So if you don't want spoilers, you can skip when I identify them on screen, like this. Also, these are just fun opinions. Don't get hurt. Okay, enjoy. Screw it, we're doing it live. No, I'm joking. We're not doing this live. This is totally recorded content. I'm not doing this live. Anyways, what are we doing? What are we doing? Put that down. What are we doing today? Well, today what we're doing is we're going to do a tier list on the Cult of the Lamb fleeces. Basically, this is just my opinion, though my opinion is kind of based off, about 120 hours of Cult of the Lamb, with beating the game multiple times. I've 100% of the game several times. I 100% of the game when the first came out, 100% of the game again when they kept adding achievements because of the DLC, and I'll probably 100% of the game again when the next DLC drops. That being said, these are just my opinions. Don't be mad or salty if you don't agree with them. Leave a comment, say what you want. We're just gonna go over the fleeces. I'm just gonna tear them, rank them. I have them kind of ordered in the order of the menu. Don't worry about this guy back here.
Oh, that little guy. I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
He's just a cosmetic one. If I could delete it, I would, but I didn't make this tier list, so I just kind of, as like, tier maker doesn't want you to duplicate or make other tier lists, so I just used someone. Saucebot made it, so shout out to Saucebot for doing this, saving me some work. I would have made it myself, but it was already made. Anyways, so just to start things off, I'm rambling too much already. We're gonna put the base fleece, the fleece of the lamb, right there in the middle. It's a mid tier. There's no positives, no negatives. It is the game, the fleece you start the game with. You can beat the game with it, not have any troubles on it. You could beat the game on the hardest difficulty with it, not have any troubles with it. Like, you're not going to be punished and you're not going to be rewarded. It's just neutral. So it's the perfect C tier fleece. Now, next on the list, we're going from C to a really high S. Like, we're jumping because I'm just doing this in the order. I'm not gonna do it in order I feel like, because it's just easier for me to mentally talk about them. But this, originally when the game came out, this had a plus 10% unlimited damage bonus. At the cost of every time you took damage, you took double damage. And so if you took a half heart, you take a full heart. If you took a full heart, you took 2 hearts, etc., etc. And it would reset your damage. So it's a very high risk, high reward type of gameplay. It's been nerfed. It got nerfed to the point where they didn't change the damage bonus, but they capped it at 200%. Then they uncapped it, but lowered the gain from each kill to 5%. Granted, there are some ways to still balloon this. Like, it is uncapped, so I have gotten 400, 500 plus attack bonuses, which is really good on a run, really good on a crusade, or if you're doing one of the purgatory dungeon runs, it's really, really good. I enjoy it. Obviously, again, it's a skill thing. If you aren't skillful enough at dodging or avoiding, the bullet hell that some of these bosses can put you into, you're gonna have a tough time with it, and you're gonna have your damage bonus, and then your damage is gonna be reset, and then you're gonna be taking double damage on top. So obviously, that is not something to, that might sway you from taking it, but it doesn't sway me. I still think it is one of the best, if not the top 2. And we'll cover the one that I think is the number 1 spot later, but yeah, I think it's a solid one. The next up is the glass cannon fleece, fleece of the glass cannon, whatever you want to call it. It's the green one. I think it's a solid A. So fleece of the glass cannon, you get at the expense of taking basically 50% less melee damage, or doing 50% less melee damage and having 50% less health, you do 100% more curse damage, and your curses cost 50% less further. So basically, you can use 1.5 times more curses, and then your curses do significantly more damage. So I think it's a really good trade-off. It really changes the gameplay style, because I personally, when I don't use curses too often, but I do use them frequently when I do this. It makes sense. And the nice trade-off is that although your melee damage is lowered, you can still increase it. You can still get the tarot cards that give you like a 20% or 30% if it's an upgraded, or etc. You can get those bonuses and still increase your melee damage, and you still have your melee damage, right? This doesn't lock you into only using curses. It just makes curses more effective. So I think it's a solid A. Again, there might be some skill issues, but I think, if you can't beat the game with 2 or 3 hearts, beat a crusade with 2 or 3 hearts, then yeah, sure, it's not for you, but it is for me. So I'm putting it at A tier. It might be a lower A tier, I think, in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, I think it's a pretty solid one. The next on the list is the Curse of the Diseased Heart. I'm putting this right in the D tier.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Right in the D tier. It's not F. It's not complete garbage, but I hate it. It's basically every tarot card you get, you will grant you a diseased heart. However, you can only have one diseased heart at a time. So if you pick up a tarot card and you get a diseased heart, and then you pick up another tarot card, you only have that one diseased heart. So if you didn't deplete it, it's useless. It's stupid. And then in addition to this, the downside, the trade-off is when you take damage, you also get poison. So you have the chance of, taking more damage. So it's just like, okay, you get a diseased heart, but you're going to take, in theory, potentially double damage for it. And then you can only stockpile one diseased heart. It's not worth it. I don't like it. Someone in my comments when I first made my video detailing like which fleeces you should unlock and why the golden fleece was, the best fleece in the game at the time, because this was when the game released. So it was like, oh no, the diseased heart fleece is amazing. It's like, it's my default. It's like, no, it's garbage. I don't think you should be using it. There's other ones that should be your default. Personally, I think there are other fleeces that should be your default one. So yeah, if they got rid of the cap, if they made it so that you can keep collecting it, I think it would be good, because ultimately, most of my runs, I might get 3 or 4 tarot cards, which would mean 3 or 4 extra hearts, which if you're using disease hearts, you're going to be using them to do damage to the enemy. It's like black hearts in Binding of Isaac. You're going to do black heart bombing. You're going to do disease heart bombing. It just helps clear rooms faster. So I think that should be the trade-off. Like, make it uncapped. Make it work with the tarot card that doubles the hearts gained, which I don't know. I haven't tested it. That might work, but then you're capped at 2. So it's still not that good. Honestly, arguably, if you compared it to, say, something like the Death Fleece right here, the Death Fleece, and that would be okay as well. Or this would be better, because at least when you resurrect, you just get 2 diseased hearts. Anyways, we'll cover that one later. But yeah, that's my rant about the diseased heart. I'm not a fan of it. It is what it is. I'm ranking it D. Argue in the comments with me. Just, give your reason and then go. I might respond to you. Anyways, next up is the Fleece of the Fates. I think this is a good representation of a B. I would rank this higher because situationally, if you have a save file that doesn't have a lot of tarot cards unlocked, this will actually potentially be really good for you. What it does is at the beginning of a run, you get 4 random tarot cards, and that's all you get. You can never pick up any more tarot cards in a run. So you can't find Clonic, can't purchase tarot cards, can't find a tarot card room where they're just on the floor, can't get tarot cards from chests. So you're just no more tarot cards. You're stuck with the 4 that you get. Which, in theory, if you have a very structured pool, maybe you've only unlocked specific tarot cards, you can make a very powerful, you can get 4 tarot cards and be very, very good. However, if you have like a save file with me where you've 100% save file, you've got all I think it's like 64 tarot cards, you have a 1 in 64 chance of getting any one tarot card in those 4 slots. You have a very small percentage chance of getting 4 tarot cards that even reflect a proper build. There's also another fleece that guarantees you 4 tarot cards that make an effective build. So I think it's B. It can be fun. It can be very useful. It has a lot more positives than, say, C. And I think if we argued about it, on any given standard run, on any given like regular crusade, not an endless crusade, purgatory dungeon run, you're gonna basically get about 2 or 3, maybe 4 tarot cards fully, because you'll get one from Klonek probably. Then there's the ability to purchase another one, which does take a number of rooms to reset. So by the time you find Klonek again, you might not be able to purchase another one. So you might get 2 from Klonek, 1 from the little tarot card dispenser, and then maybe 1 drops from a chest, right? A golden chest or a demon chest. You might get something really good, but that's like 3 or 4. And again, there's no structure. Now I would rank this really higher if maybe Fleece of the Fates let you say like discover, kind of like in how Hearthstone, when you discover a card, it lets you pick from 3. If it allowed you basically at the beginning of a run pick from 4 sets of 2 options to kind of build you, then I think it would be a little bit better, because then you're picking from 8, right? So you have a vaster option. It would allow you to really have a bit more structured build, and I think it would have that positive impact. It would definitely be A tier, maybe even S tier, with that type of structure to it. And even if you were like really making a narrow quote unquote tarot deck, that would really allow you to like pick your run and really have a very like directed build on your crusade. So something to think about. Maybe I don't think they'll ever change it again. I think they've balanced out all these fleeces. This will never change. That is now the next one up is, I'm gonna put, this might be a controversial take, but Fragile Fortitude. I think it's a B, but I don't think it's better than Fleece of the Fates. Now, what does the Fragile Fortitude do? It replaces all your red hearts with blue hearts at 2 to 3 ratio, or basically you get 1.5 blue hearts for every red heart you have. So I have a clip, I'll run it, and basically I started with, I think it was 3.5 red hearts, and I ended up with 6.5 blue hearts, plus my diseased heart from my crown abilities. And that's on medium difficulty. It's going to adjust it based off your difficulty. So if you're playing on easier, you're going to have more. I don't know if you have the accessibility option on how that implies, like the infinite health accessibility. But anyways, so basically it just turns your red hearts into blue hearts at the expense of you'll never be able to find red hearts again. Now, granted, with some luck and getting some tarot cards, you can still heal. You'd be able to, get the one that gives you the 10% chance to get a tarot card every time you kill an enemy, or not a tarot card, sorry, a blue heart every time you kill an enemy. That could effectively give you like an opportunity to heal. And I do think it's pretty good, because outside of a few very specific rooms and floors in a crusade, red hearts don't drop too frequently. So I don't think it's bad. That being said, if you do take a demon on the run, I can't remember which demon it is, but the demon that will go and fetch hearts for you, that one does bring back red hearts very frequently, so it'd be very useless to bring that with you. Now, I think it can still bring blue hearts, but I don't believe that if you take it with you, and I'd have to test this, and maybe I'll update in the comments after, but if you take this and then that demon that will go and get you hearts, I don't know if it'll always get you blue hearts, or if it just has a chance of giving you a blue heart when it goes to fetch for a heart. So I'll do some testing on that one, see how that interaction works. That could potentially retroactively bump it up to a higher B. I still wouldn't put it in the A category, because it's not like changing how you play the game. It's just a defensive option. It's better than the Fleece of the Lamb. So that covers the base fleeces. These fleeces I'm talking about currently now are actually post game. You can't unlock these until you've beaten the final boss of the game. No spoilers. I don't want to spoil it, but the game has been out for a couple of years, so the one who waits, sorry, if you beat him, the next fleece up is gonna be this is controversial, I think. Maybe, probably not. But this is the next A tier or S tier, sorry. This is my GOAT. This is my number one. I love it. And the Fleece of the Cursed Crusade. Because what the Fleece of the Cursed Crusade does is it really combines your glass cannon and your Fleece of Fates at the expense of you can't use your melee weapons. That's it. You can't use weapons. No sword, no dagger, no axe, no hammer, no claws, and no blunderbuss. But what do you get? You get 4 tarot cards, and you always get the same 4 tarot cards. It effectively gives you the increased curse damage tarot card, the increased fervor generation tarot card, the auto generation fervor tarot card. So even if you run out, you're still going to generate fervor while standing in a room, and you get the tarot card to generate automatically fill up your fervor whenever you enter a new room. So it's just so good. It makes your curses so much better. I love it. It completely changes the way the game plays, and honestly, it's good. And oftentimes the 3 of the 4 tarot cards are upgraded. I think they're always upgraded. They're always at least green tier. So that's amazing. So there's nothing I would say that tops this. You're getting more damage. It's giving you a unique gameplay style. Sure, you might not like curses, so that might make it. But like, if you're not using curses, then use the Golden Fleece. Right. The good thing about the Golden Fleece is the Golden Fleece damage bonus affects curses and weapons. So you can still use it. You can still use it. I know I glazed up the Golden Fleece a lot. And the next fleece is basically the improved version of the Golden Fleece, in the sense that everything is to the max. It's just like, all right, instead of taking double damage, you can only take 1 hit and then you die. Instead of getting 5% damage increase, you start with 10x weapon multiplier. And you always have 10x multiplier. This chunks bosses. So you would think, I glazed up the Golden Fleece, right? But I'm not glazing up Fleece of the Berserker. I truly think Fleece of the Berserker, it's just a C tier. It's just slightly above your base Fleece of the Lamb. And the reason it is because it only gives you 10x weapon damage. It does not give you curse damage. If it was 10x damage across the board, I think it would be really good. I think it would probably be A tier. It is obviously a very heavy skill issue fleece, just like Golden Fleece. The difference being is, instead of like, taking double damage and then losing your bonus, you just die. The run's over if you take a hit. So you can't take a hit. So I in good conscience really recommend it. At least with the Golden Fleece, you can recover. You can do a lot of damage, maybe take a hit, recover, get that damage bonus up to an acceptable level, and then keep on the crusade. If you take a hit, you're done. That's why I'm just like, I can't in good conscience put it even in B tier. I think it's just too much. Okay, and the next one, the next one is the Fleece of Fervor's Favor. I think this is a solid one. I would put it like C plus, B minus. I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna put it in B. I do think it's better. It's very neutral. But all it does is it basically lets you heal using fervor. Fervor is a renewable resource, so to speak. You collect fervor every time you beat an enemy. And if you have the tarot card that makes enemies drop 4 or 5 times the amount of fervor, you just have it basically infinite healing. Now the downside to it is no hearts will spawn. No blue hearts, no red hearts. I don't know if there's like if you use the tarot card that generates, again, the 10% blue heart on enemy kill, if that like negates it, but who cares? You can heal. You can heal on demand. It's almost like playing Hollow Knight, how easily you can heal. And it's great. I think it's a solid B. Like if I was to take like, okay, if I'm always gonna have one upgraded, I just want something that's just default better, I'd take the Fleece of Fervor's Favor. Fervor's Favor, I think it's good. I think it's a B, maybe like C plus. It's definitely above Berserker's just because Berserker, if you take a hit, then the run's end. The run is over. If you take a hit with the Fervor's Favorite, you heal. So, no big deal. Originally, when this next one came out, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't realize how good it was. I probably would have put this as, again, maybe C tier, B tier. The curse, the Fleece of Hobbled Heels, was just not appealing to me. All it was is it says all its description is heal a heart after completing each room, increase movement speed, and starting health. At the expense of disabled rolling. I was like, oh, you can't roll? Damn, that sucks. However, I honestly think this is an A tier. I don't think it's better than the glass cannon because it doesn't really give you more damage, but you move incredibly fast. It's almost to the point where like dodging's not really an issue. You can clear rooms very quickly. Even if you take a hit, you're going to get that health back once the room is being completed. You also have increased starting health. I don't think it's double. I don't know what the exact amount is, the exact like ratio that you get more health, but you start with more health. You move incredibly faster. And if you get the tarot card, the path, that thing is just going to make you zoom. Like I got it on a run. I don't know if I'm going to have the footage in this video, but I got it on a run and I was zooming. It was actually almost difficult to control. So, you know, it's no damage down, no damage increase, but I think it's incredibly fast. It kind of gives a unique play style. And I think it's just fun. I think it's fun. So A tier for me. Next up is the God of Death Fleece. Now, originally, I was like, oh, this is just a better default fleece. When resurrecting, gain 2 disease hearts. And then I tried it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'd say like this is like B plus, C, like C plus, B minus. Put it up here. Honestly, I think it's worse than the default fleece because you have to die on a run to get the benefit. Now, the benefit is when you do resurrect, and you can only resurrect on game modes that aren't penitence mode. So that's the Don't Starve game mode that was added recently. You are able to resurrect, you know, sacrifice one of your followers and get an additional 2 disease hearts. So it doesn't matter which follower you resurrect, you're going to get 2 disease hearts from it. I think it's C tier. I actually think it might be D tier, honestly. It's not good. It doesn't give you any benefit. And the only benefit you do get, you have to die to get. So sure, if you're really struggling, I'd say, yeah, it is better than the Fleece of the Lamb, but it's marginally better. And I just think the benefit is not there. Maybe if you started with 2 diseased hearts and then you will get 2 diseased hearts when you resurrect, I would say, okay, yeah, it's a much better Fleece of the Lamb. Like you just start with a little extra health that does damage if you lose it, and then you get that health back when you resurrect. Cool, great. Yeah. But it's not that great. It's just not. So it's not. I don't think. And again, you don't have to spend anything to unlock it. You unlock it just by beating the post game and defeating all the bishops for a second time. So it's not horrible, but it's not good. Personally, I just don't think it's good. I don't think it's worth even putting in the same category as the default fleece. I would much rather just run the default fleece or the GOAT of all things, but that's neither here nor there. Now, the next one, I really wanted this one to be good. The Cowboy. Basically, you always start with the blunderbuss. Now, the blunderbuss is my favorite weapon. I love it. I think it's probably the best combat improvement to the game. And this is probably controversial. I think, you know, if the accessibility features weren't there, if certain features weren't able to be easily enabled, I would say this is easily an A tier, maybe even another S tier, but it's an F tier.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get addicted to crack? Did somebody get addicted to crack?
It's an F tier, and this is controversial. Sure, you get to look like a cute little lamb cowboy. Amazing. You start with a blunderbuss. Cool. But guess what? All these other fleeces can start as a blunderbuss. All the other fleeces can start as a blunderbuss because you can have the accessibility feature to force your favorite weapon on. And then you can select the blunderbuss to be your favorite weapon. So when you end, this costs 10 sin. 10 sin. Unlock. Sin is not like an incredibly hard resource to get. To get 10 Sin, it takes time. It actually probably takes time, a lot more time than getting 4 fragments of a holy talisman to unlock any of the other fleeces. So I just think the cost isn't there. The ability is enabled through accessibility as well. So I can get the benefits of any other fleece and look this way. And also, I can make any other fleece look like the cowboy fleece. So it's not even like a big deal. You can customize the fleeces. That's something I just learned about before getting ready for this video. So honestly, it's the worst fleece in the game. It just there's no benefit that would make me want to say, oh yeah, get the cowboy, unlock that as soon as you can. No, if you're gonna unlock anything as soon as you can, it really should be the golden fleece from the base one, and then the post game ones. I would say the fleece of the Cursed Crusade, just because those are like they're fundamentally kind of change the way you play the game. They make you rethink how you're gonna run your crusades. But yeah, that's it. That is my tier list. Love it, hate it, I don't care. It's mine. But feel free to leave a comment, agreeing or disagreeing. And if you want to see me do like a tier list on the rituals, I was thinking about maybe doing that as well. So let me know if that's a tier list you'd want to see, get my input on it. But again, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, do all the engagement things. And I hope to see you in another one of my videos. Bye.